So I have shared the screen. I hope this is visible to you all. I will be going to the presentation this time. Okay. Student, is it visible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, thank you. Right, so we will be starting with the what we are going to study, and this is our classes for the combined Geo-Scientist main examination, and we are focusing for the paper 3 right now, in which in that also we are focusing for the economic geology, which is, you know, this is a very easy paper. If you will understand all the topics, it's very easy, it's to the point answer, you don't have to understand much of the things. So this is a easy paper if you learn all the things. Okay, and after that we will be moving to the section B, that is the Indian mineral deposit and the mineral economics. Then we'll be moving toward the mineral exploration. Many universities, they haven't taught the mineral exploration part. So many of my friends who were not from my university, they were having problem in this paper, the section C. So I would be taking that also according to the exam point of view, the mineral exploration part also, and then we'll go with the fuel geology and the engineering geology. Environmental geology and natural hazard, it is quite easy, you know. This is a very easy paper. You just need to read through the pages. So it's a very easy one. And the peoples are still joining. Okay. So we are moving toward the section A, that is the economic geology. So in the economic geology, you know, we will studying about the whole of the thing, the ore mineral and the industrial mineral. This is I have taken these words from the mains syllabus directly from that paper. So it is to the point. You have the ore mineral and the industrial mineral, then you have the physical and optical properties of the ore mineral. You have to study the ore texture and its paragenesis. You have to study the mineral deposit, spatial and temporal distribution. So all of these things, you know, the copper nickel deposit, the PGE, the RE, the muscovite. So all of these things, you know, we will be covering in this lecture of the economic geology. Okay, we will be studying about the whole sedimentary deposits, the supergene deposits, the fluid inclusion in ore mineral assembly. It is also, they have asked this, I think, last year. And the stable isotopes of the sulfur, the carbon, oxygen and hydrogen in orogenesis, geothermometry, source of ore and constituent. So the students who have joined recently, I am right now just talking about the syllabus of the economic geology, that is the section A of paper 3rd, and we are moving forward toward this only, the economic geology. Then I will be covering all other sections of this paper. Okay. Before that, I wanted to give you the brief about the examination. So we have 3 papers, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3 and the paper 4. Obviously the paper 4 is the hydrogeology part. I should write it here, which is the hydrogeology part. Right. So in the paper 4 we have the hydrogeology part. So for each paper you will be giving the 3-hour time duration, and the maximum marks that you can get in the paper is 200 marks, right? Out of 200 marks you will be getting your other marks, and this whole 4 paper, the people will, any geology student, they can attend any of or all of these 4 paper. Or if you don't want to attend the hydrogeology part, then it is okay for you to attend these 3 papers. You will not get any negative mark for not attending these hydrogeology paper. Okay, so suppose if the person who is only they are only interested in GSI, so they only have to attend these 3 papers. Okay, but if you want to join the CGWB also, then you have to attend the whole 4 papers. Okay, so we have 4 papers now. Now, you know, you should understand that to write any answer, it's not any, you cannot write any vague thing into your paper. You have to have a mindset that you will follow some structure to write your answer. Okay, a person who know everything, but if they are not able to write that in their notebook, okay, So if they are not able to present their thought onto the paper, so it is of no use, right? So they have already tested your PYQ skill. Sorry, they have already tested your MCQ skill. That is the to the point answer. If they are giving you the 4 options, you can answer one of it, right? But in the writing practice, now they are testing your depth knowledge about the things, that how much you have the knowledge about the subject, right? So if you know the thing and if you are not able to present it on the paper, so this is of no use. Okay, that's why we need to do the writing practice. Okay, so writing practice comes with understanding the question. Suppose they have given you a question that write the chromite deposit of India. Okay, and the question is of 5 marks, right? The question is of 5 marks and they have given you this question, that write the chromite deposit of India. Now instead of writing the chromite deposit of India, you are writing what is chromite deposit. It is okay to write what is chromite deposit, but if you are not mentioning the chromite deposit of India, then it is of no use, right? So you have to understand the question, that what they are asking from you. Okay, so whatever the question is giving to you, read it 2 to 3 times. Okay, so to read any question 2 to 3 times in 3 hours, every question, you have to have a good speed. Okay, you have to have a good speed, and the good speed will then also come with some practice. Okay, also about the language, do not try to show how much you know the English. It is of no use. If you know a very simple language, very simple English language, it is very good, because they want to get the answer, and they want to make you a scientist, right? So they want a very simple answer to the point about what they are asking. They don't want to know how much English you know, they just want a very simple answer, very basic English answer, right? Also, you have a limit to write. Like in your, when we were in BSc or we were in MSc, we used to write, we can write 8 pages, 9 pages, 10 pages for an answer. But in the case of this UPSC examination, all of you will be giving some limits to write the answer. Okay, for example, I'm just giving you a very simple example. For 5 marks, this 5 marks question, you can only write in 1 page. Okay, you can only write in this 1 page. So to write in a 1 page, you should be aware that you should understand the very basic things. How can you write in a point, how to draw a diagram in this 1 page only. So this needs a practice. Okay, and time management is very important. I will be talking about time management, that how can you manage your time in not in this class, but I will be talking detail about this, how can you manage your time in the writing. Okay, because all of you have studied your masters, all of you have enough knowledge, but all you have to understand that is how to represent or how to present that on the sheet of paper. Okay, now after that you have to use the keywords. Okay, and if you're using any good keywords, try to underline that on the same time. If you're writing, so for example, you are writing the ore deposit. Okay, if you're writing the ore deposit, which is the keyword in that question, so just underline that. Okay, on that same time when you're writing, just underline that. Do not wait to come back again and then underline it. Okay, so on the same time, underline that keywords which is being asked in the question. Okay, if they have asked what is a ore deposit, and give example of that, so whatever the keywords that is in the question and whatever you think the best point for that question, you have to write that and just underline it. It will not take much time if you are doing it alongside your answer writing. Okay, but if you are waiting that if I'll complete the answer, then I'll come back again and then I'll again underline it, so it will take much time. Okay, so do not wait for that. Now always substantiate. What does it mean? It means that whatever you are writing, try to give examples of that, evidence of that, right? So whatever you are writing, if you are writing about what is the ore, so give the example of the ore. If you are writing about the different kind of iron ores, so give example of that. So always substantiate your answer and try to underline it also. Okay, because whatever you think is the best of your answer, you should underline it. Okay, and not but least, you have to conclude your answer at the end. Try to conclude your answer, that whatever you have wrote in the last line of your page, in 2-3 lines you have to conclude your answer. Okay, now as I said you all, that practice, it makes the perfection. Okay, practice makes the perfect. So you have to practice a lot to give a best answer out of whatever you know. Okay, we all know everything, but you have to understand that knowing and writing are two different things. Okay, many of you know everything, but you are not able to present that in an answer sheet. So there is no going back. You have to understand and learn how to write that. Okay, and you should have a structure of your answer, that is a presentation, how you want to present your answer. Okay, this is different for everyone. No one follow the same rule that I want to present in this way only, and there is any specific format for it. Okay, this is different for everyone, but you should have a structure in your mind already. So on the time of the examination, you will not you will not get confused at where should I draw the diagram, where should I write this line, where should I write that line. So you should already in your mind, you should set the answer structure. Okay, that how should I write my answer, or how should I present my answer, and this is my blueprint. I will follow this for most of my answers. Obviously there can be 1-2 questions which might not follow that structure, but you can follow one structure for almost all of the questions. Okay, so do not worry about that. And there should be clarity and conciseness in your answer. Okay, your answer should be concise. It should not be a whole big paragraph. It should be in points or small paras. You should follow that thing. And yes, you should be focused upon your writing. How is your writing? Is your writing it is understandable to other person? Is it that? So your writing should be at least not a very good writing. It should be in the moderate, so that any average person, they can understand it. Okay, and you should also give an introduction about the question whatever you are writing. So I will be talking about this. I have talked about this. This is a very instruction in the examination hall, that you should not be carrying any calculator which is a scientific one. You should only take a very simple calculator, which you get in almost all the shops which we visit. And other than that, you can take the protector, a pair of compass, you can take the pencil, color pencil, all of these things you can take. Okay, but you cannot take any gadget which is electronic or any other things. Okay, for example, it is written here, you cannot carry any table charts, or you cannot carry any mobile phones, bluetooths, any other things you cannot carry, right? And also, if any question is asked about the graph, that you have to use graph to draw that or to write that question, so the UPSC, they will provide you the graph. They will also provide you the map if it has been asked in the examination. Do not worry about these things. You will get all the booklets, you will get all the graphs, everything will be provided to you except the pen and pencil. So you have to carry your own set of these pen, pencil, eraser, whatever you need for your exam, right? Then you have whatever you wrote. Still people are joining, just give me a minute. Yeah. So whatever you wrote, try to spare 5 to 10 minutes after in your examination time to reread those questions or answers of what you have wrote. Okay, so try to, that is why the management is very important. The time management is very important, because to get the last 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes to review your answers, you have to manage your times. Okay, and this time the competition is cutthroat, because the vacancy is very less. So I'm not demotivating you, but you have to practice. Okay, so the practice, it will make you all perfect, and I wish you all clear this examination. So now I just wanted to give you this brief that for 5 marks you will be getting only 1 page to write the write the answer. For 10 marks you will be getting the 2 pages, and for 15 marks you will be getting the 3 pages. Okay, not more than this. You will not get any other page after this. So if you are getting any question for 15 marks, they will give you 1, 2, 3 page, and after the 3rd page they will write another question here. Okay, so the question has already been written on that paper, and you have to write answer on that page only. Okay, so you have to also understand that how can you write your whole knowledge in the 3 page. Okay, so that you can only understand by the practicing. Now the points to remember in the examination hall is that, that's why I already told you that, use very simple English, okay, and avoid using the flowy or the decorative language, because these languages, they take the attention away from the original fact, okay, or the opinion that you are giving for the topic. So try to use very simple language, very simple English. Anyone can write in simple language. Do not try to show your English in this paper, because this is not an English paper, right? This is a Geo-Scientist examination. So try to use very simple language, very simple English, okay. And whatever the answering style you have, should be natural, original, and to the point answers should be there, okay. And read the instruction on the question paper very very carefully. There will be a very big chance of introducing certain changes from the previous year. So suppose people think that whatever the previous year they are asking, they will repeat the same question, but there is high chance that there should be certain changes, or very small amount of changes in that question, okay. And allot 10 minutes to scan the whole question paper, or while scanning the question by, you should mark the important things or question by pencil. That will make you comfortable to answer later, okay. Now start with a big question. So always try to start with a big question which has the 15 marks weightage or the 10 marks weightage, and read the question 2-3 times, then underline the main topic, issue, or the most importantly the keywords. You should underline those things, okay. And word limit, there is also the word limit is also written there, okay. So try to answer in the word limit only, and don't jump into the answer, okay. First think about the answer, and the thinking should not be of 5-10 minutes for each question, okay. You have to adopt a thinking procedure which should be very quick. If you already have a plan of writing style, you will think very easily, okay. So this all will come with the practice, so don't worry about anything. Will help you till the last time. So last but not least, obviously you should have a very important, or you should have a very good and legible handwriting, okay. It should be understand to everyone. Now this is a kind of, it's just an example, the kind of sheet that they provide you. This is a kind of UPSC mains answer sheet. They have this margins here, and you have to write in between these only, right? And also they, for each question, that they will be writing a question here. For question number 1, they will be writing the question here, and if it is 5 marks, it is only this page only. If it is 10 marks, then this 1 page and 2 page, and if it is of 15 marks, they will be allotting you 3 pages, okay. The question will be it will be written here on each sheet for the question whatever you are writing, okay. Obviously you will be getting a main question paper bank of in one sheet, obviously you will getting that, but in the answer sheet also they will be writing the questions here, okay. Now you should always try to write some introduction to the question. Suppose if they are asking you any question, you should first introduce that answer here in the word 2-3 lines. In 2-3 lines, try to introduce what they are asking in the question with a very simple answer, that whatever, if they are asking about the ore mineral, so try to first explain what is the ore mineral, then try to give the examples of that, try to draw that things, okay. And use the illustration and the diagrams. Try to label the diagram also. Draw a lot of diagram. In geology, the best thing about geology is that you will get to draw a lot of diagram, and you can draw a lot, and the diagrams, they give you a lot of marks, and they will try to instead of writing a para, if you're drawing a diagram and showing that para in that diagram, so it will help you a lot. And the problem that I came in the paper 3 is that there are many questions in which you're not able to draw the diagram. There are many questions are there in which you will be not be able to draw the diagram. So in that case, try to draw flow chart. Okay, if you're not able to draw any diagram in the paper 3, in case of our examination, in that time also I was not able to draw much diagram, because I was not getting much diagrams to draw for those questions. So what I did was that I tried to use flow chart to present my answer. Okay, what will do flowchart, what will it do? It will do is that it will if you are drawing a flowchart here, so it will help them to concentrate their mind on this thing. And if you have already shown everything here, that whatever they are asking in the question, so they will give you a good marks. Okay, so if you are not able to draw any diagram, try to draw a flowchart. Okay, try to draw a flowchart. Now this is the kind of format that I used. So what I used was that this was my fixed blueprint. I used this method in almost all of my questions. So what I did was that whatever the question they used to ask me, I used to introduce that question. Then I used to draw a diagram. And in most of the questions, I have drew the diagram, except the paper 3, which was I was not able to draw much diagram in that, but in almost all of the paper I have drawn much diagrams. So diagram with labels, you should use labels to draw your diagram. And the best thing that I used was that I used to box up my diagram. So what I used to draw, I used to box up it. That this is my diagram, I will box that in square or rectangle, and then I used to label it that this is my this is my this is my this. So it used to make my answer look very good, very fancy, and also it used to make the things more clear to the people, because it's now arranged in a proper way. My diagram is not flowing anywhere, it is in a proper box, and I am labeling it, so it will make your answer very good, right? So you should try and this will not take much time to box your diagram. Okay, so just draw the diagram and just do this like this. Okay, if you are drawing something, do like this. So it will not take much time. So this is a very good tip. You should understand that. Try to box up your diagram. Okay, this will give a very good impression about your answer. Now after that, try to write a body parts. And in the case of body parts, which is the main part of the the answer, which is that you can, like, people can use a big para, but I don't prefer using that. I try to prefer writing in small points, that these are my points, or I will use very short paras. It should not be 6-7 line paras. It will make no sense, right? And in those small points also, I used to underline that whatever the important keyword to me, I used to underline that. And this all thing I used to do on the same time when I'm writing the answer. I don't used to come back again and then underline the question, because you have to write so many answers and you will forget that too. You have to underline this also. So you have to do these simultaneously. Okay, and after that, try to conclude your answer, that okay, whatever you have wrote, or if they're asking you about the Indian deposit, try to conclude that with a very good thing, whatever interesting about that deposit. So try to conclude that. Okay, so these all are how you can proceed to write in your examination. If any one of you are having any query, just ask me, I will answer that. Any one of you, any query about the main writing practice, anything you can ask right now. Students? Students, anyone? Any query? You should have some queries, right? No, ma'am, let's start the main part. Okay, Ripan. Okay, sure. Okay, so ore minerals and the industrial minerals. So this is the first topic of the economic geology, and so I hope you all have studied the economic geology. I just want to make this class more interactive, so I will be asking questions, and you can give answer to me in any language, Hindi, English, whatever you prefer. Not other than Hindi, English, because I don't understand other language, but try to answer that. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to know that what is a ore. Any one of you? What is a ore? Anyone? Okay, no one is answering. I'm assuming you might not have studied this, or you might not able to remember it right now. So I will be starting with it only. So ore is what? It is any naturally occurring material. Any material. Ore is a mineral. Gaurav has answered the question. He has wrote ore is an mineral which can profitably extracted. Okay. Mana has wrote minerals with economic value. Right. You both are right. Very good. The same thing I am repeating here also. So it is written here that ore is any. So you have to remember. Dekho, see, there are few things that you have to remember the definition of it. For example, the fold, the fault, the ore. These are very common things. So you have to remember the exact definition of those. Okay. For example, in case of ore, you have to write that it is a naturally occurring material. Okay, from which a mineral or an aggregate of value, it can be extracted at a profit. Okay, that is any economic value. It should have a economic value. Okay, so this is the definition of, very simple definition of ore. It is what? It is a naturally occurring material from which a mineral or an aggregate of mineral, it can be extracted at a profit. Okay, and what is a ore deposit? The ore deposit is what? It is from when any useful commodity, it is sufficiently concentrated. When any useful thing, it is concentrated in a very sufficient amount, and also this is accessible part, and it is also present in the accessible part of the earth crust, not in the, obviously not in the core, we are not able to extract that, but it should be present in the accessible part of the earth crust. Okay, so that it can be profitably extracted. So this is the for the ore deposit. Okay, so I'm taking only the common words or the terms in the economic geology. Now what is a syngenetic? In the case of syngenetic, these are what? These are refers to the ore deposit that form at the same time as the host rock. So when the host rock has been formed, so whatever the ore deposit that is formed during that time, it is called the syngenetic deposit. Okay, now the epigenetic deposit is what? It is referred to that deposit which form after the formation of the host rock. Okay, so deposit is what? It can be syngenetic, it can be epigenetic. Okay, now what is a supergene deposit? Supergene deposit is what? It referred to the mineralization, this supergene deposit, it forms by the descending solution. So any, whether it's water or anything which is descending downward, it will form because of that. Okay, so this supergene deposit, it forms or it refers to the mineralization which is caused by the descending solution. Okay, and it generally refers to the enrichment process which accompanied by the weathering and the oxidation of sulfide and oxide ores at near the surface. So the thing is that we will be going deep in or depth in these topics, but I am just referring you the common terms that are used in the economic geology. Okay, now there is another mode, is that metallogeny. Metallogeny is the word that is used in the economic geology for the study of the genesis of mineral deposits. Okay, and this this emphasizes the relationship between the space and time and the geological feature of the earth crust for their formation. Okay, similarly the metallotech is what? It is any geological or tectonic or anything which has played their role for the concentration of that mineral in the earth crust. Okay, so whatever the role that has been played, any geological thing can help to produce or to concentrate that ore on the earth crust, anything, whatever the role that has been played for the concentration of that ore or that ore onto the earth crust, it is called the metallotect. Okay. Now, what is the metallogenic province? It is any region, province word is referring to any region. So if you're talking about the metallogenic province, it is any region which can be characterized by any assemblage of any particular deposit. Okay. So what we call that term? We call that term as the metallogenic province. Okay. Now, we have the epithermal deposit. We have three kind of hydrothermal ore deposit. One is the epithermal, the mesothermal, and the hypothermal. So from the word epithermal itself, you can understand that it will form at the shallow depth, okay, which is generally less than 1500 meter. Okay, and its temperature should also be low, so the temperature will it will be ranging from 50 to 200 degrees Celsius. Okay, so what is epithermal deposit? It is those hydrothermal ore deposit which form at shallow depth. Okay, and what is that depth? It should be less than 1500 meter, and it should have fairly low temperature, that is 50 to 200 degrees Celsius. Okay, and similarly for the mesothermal, you have it is in the meso means itself, you can understand that it should be in the intermediate depth. Okay, so mesothermal are what? It is those hydrothermal ore deposit which form at the intermediate depth. And what is that depth? It is between 1500 to 4500 meters, and the temperature should be in the moderation. It should be from 200 to 400 degrees Celsius. Okay, then we have the hypothermal. Now in the case of hypothermal, obviously it is at a very substantial depth. Okay, generally it is higher than this one, the 4500 meter. It should be higher than this, and the temperature should be over this, that is 400 to 600 degrees Celsius. Okay, now the term we use that people are still joining. Okay, so the term that we use are, for example, the mineral deposit or the ore deposit. These are what? These are any rock body. What is a ore deposit? It is what? It is a rock body that contains one or more elements, or it can be a mineral which is sufficiently above a average crustal abundance, and it should also have a potential economic value. That is, it should be economically extracted from the crust. Okay, so what is the ore deposit? It is a rock body which contains one or more minerals which should have a abundance of average crustal, and it should above the average crustal abundance, and it should be economically extracted, or should have a good economic value, right? Now we have two types of the ore deposit. One is what? One is a metallic mineral deposit, and second is a non-metallic mineral deposit. So the metallic mineral deposit, I think you all know that in this we will extract one or more metals. Okay, what are those metals? It can be chromium, the copper, the lead, the zinc, the iron, the gold, the platinum. All of these things will come into the metallic mineral deposit. Now what is a non-metallic mineral deposit? You can call it as a industrial mineral deposit. Okay, so what are these? These are those minerals which are useful for their specific physical or a chemical properties. Okay, these industrial or non-metallic minerals, they are useful for their some specific physical or chemical properties. For example, we have the clay, the mica, the garnet, the phosphate, etc. All of these deposits like the deposit like the granite, these all are these are the industrial deposit. For example, we use the granite to make the flooring. We use the floor, we use this granite to make floors and all of these things. So these have some physical or chemical properties. For example, granite and these marble, they are very hard, so we make these. We make floor of our home by using these. Okay, similarly there is one more definition of the ore. It is what? It is any rock or mineral. You can use the first one definition, you can use also this one. Okay, both of these are almost same, but I'm just writing it again to make it more understandable. So any rock or mineral from which one or more element it can be extracted and it should be exploited profitably. Okay, so it should have a profit. We should not lose money, or if you're not getting any profit by extracting anything, you will not do it. Okay, so it should have a profit. Okay, it should have a profit. So or the rock mineral itself, it can be used economically, and that thing is called the ore. Okay, now the ore, obviously it can be a metallic ore, it can be a non-metallic ore. Okay, now the ore, it consists of ore mineral plus gangue. Okay, it consists of ore mineral plus gangue, right? So any one of you can tell me what is a gangue? Students, any one of you? What is a gangue, students? Impurity. Very good, Gaurav. Yeah, it's an impurity in the ore. Okay, and they both exist. They both coexist. Okay, so if you are getting any ore mineral, you will obviously get the gangue. Okay, it's an impurity in the ore. So here, we have wrote the definition of ore mineral as well as the gangue mineral. Okay, so ore mineral is what? It can be of one or more metals. It should be extracted economically, or the mineral itself should have a economic significance. Okay, for example, in the case of hematite, it is the ore of iron metal. Okay, whereas the barite and apatite, they are itself economically extractable. Okay, you will extract the whole barite to be used for their purpose. Okay, but in the case of hematite, we will extract the iron. Okay, so ore mineral, it can have one or more metals that can be extracted, or it can be itself economically extractable, right? But in the case of gangue mineral, they are the unwanted material, or they are the impurities. Okay, these are the unwanted material. It can be a mineral or it can be a rock, which in the ore mineral, they are usually intergrown with the ore mineral. Okay, these are generally coexist with the ore mineral. Okay, and the ore mineral, these are extracted from the gangue mineral. So we remove these impurities, and after that we extract the ore mineral in the ore. Okay, now what is a mineral? Okay, so this is a very common definition we use everywhere. You should also remember this definition wholeheartedly. Like, you should understand that what is a definition of mineral, and you should write the whole this definition. So what is a mineral? The terms for it is what? It is a homogeneous inorganic substance that occur naturally. Okay, usually it is in the crystalline form with a definite chemical composition. Okay, and you should understand these things. It is a homogeneous inorganic substance that should occur naturally, and it is usually in a crystalline form, and it should have a definite chemical composition. What does it mean by definite? Because the mineral, they make a solid solution, so they should not be compulsory that they will have a fixed chemical composition, but they have a definite chemical composition. They might vary from one to another, but there should be some, if they have the solid solution, so they will not have the fixed chemical composition. Okay, that's why it is written here that they should have a definite chemical composition. Okay, now rock is what? Rock is an assemblage of mineral. Okay, what is a rock? Rock is an assemblage of mineral which form under natural processes, and it can be of igneous, sedimentary, or the metamorphic origin. Okay, now this is again, it's repeating here, so I will be not going into that. The metallic ore, it is again repeating here. So chalcopyrite, obviously it is a metallic ore. Okay, from which we extract the, anyone, for what we use the chalcopyrite, students? Okay, very good, Gaurav. So yes, we use copper, we use chalcopyrite to extract the copper. Okay. Similarly for sphalerite, the galena, hematite, you should remember that, you know, all of these, what we extract from these ores. Okay. And you should remember these things. You should also remember the some of the byproducts of these. For example, what is a byproduct is what? It is a secondary product. This is what a byproduct is, a secondary product which is derived, during the production of this ore mineral. Okay, so during the the manufacturing process or the chemical reaction or whatever the process it is undergoing, whatever you get during that process, it is called the byproduct. It is not most of the people don't use it in most of the industries, but some might be of good use. So in the case of this copper ore, we get the gold in the copper ore as the byproduct. We get the silver in the PbZn ore. So these are the byproduct of these. Okay. Now same it is repeating here, the industrial mineral. So these are any rock or mineral or any other naturally, see it is always repeating, the naturally occurring substance. So you should remember this term. These are the keywords which is called the keywords. Okay, so industrial mineral are what? It is any rock or mineral or any other naturally occurring substance of economic value exclusive of metallic ore. So we don't consider metallic ore in the industrial mineral. Okay, or the mineral fuels or the gemstones. Okay, for example, we have the quartz, the garnet, the phosphate, the asbestos, the barite. Okay, now what is a mineral fuel? It is the coal, the crude oil and the gas. So all of these will come under the mineral fuel. Just remember one thing, that in the case of industrial mineral, we don't consider the metallic ore, or we don't consider the mineral fuel, or we will not consider the gemstone. So it is exclusive of these terms. We don't consider all of these three terms in the industrial mineral. Okay, so mineral fuel is a different thing. Now we have the gemstone. These are the amethyst, the aquamarine, the diamond, the emerald, the garnet, the opal, the ruby, the sapphire, the topaz and the zircon. So all of these will come under the gemstone. And other essentials are what? We have the water. Right? Now what is a proto-ore? Okay, proto-ore is what? It is a mineral material with uneconomic concentration of material. Okay, before the ore, and this will further will upgrade it into the level of ore with further concentration, or will further if will do the extraction, it might it will get upgraded into the level of ore. But right now, if we are talking about the proto ore, it has the uneconomic concentration of the metal. That means what? It is not economically extractable. Okay, we will not get any profit by extracting this proto ore. Okay, now what is the ore grade? This is also important. They have asked this question in the last year also. So what is the ore grade? It is the concentration of metal in an ore body. Okay, so whatever the concentration of metal in an ore body is called its grade. Okay, and this is usually expressed in the percentage or the ppm, that is parts per million. Okay, for example, the grade of tin ore is 0.5 to 1.5%. Okay, suppose if you are having this tin and only this much amount is extractable, that is 0.5 to 1.5%. So what does it mean? It means that other than this percentage, all of the part of the ore body is the gangue. Okay, that means what? 98.5 to 99.5% of the ore body is the gangue. Okay, that is why ore grade is important. You should know the grade of the ore. So more the grade of ore is, that more economically extractable that ore will be. Okay, now what is a tenor? It refers to the percentage of metal that can be actually be extracted. Okay, so what does it mean by actually be extracted? It means that not whole ore grade can be extracted. Okay, there should be some limit to the extraction. Okay, and that is called the tenor. Okay, it is referred to the percentage of metal which can be actually be extracted. Okay, now the tenor of iron it vary considerably. For example, in the case of limonite, only 35% can be extracted. In the case of hematite, it is 57%. In the case of magnetite, it is 70% of the ore grade it can be extracted. Okay, so that's why we say that the magnetite is a much better iron ore than a hematite. Okay, so you can see that the tenor, it defines the percentage of metal which can be actually be extracted. Okay, now what is a tonnage? Similarly, similar to this tenor, it refers to the total amount of metal. This is the percentage of metal, but in the case of tonnage, it refers to the total amount of metal that can be extracted from any particular ore deposit. Okay, that can be actually be extracted. Okay, that is called the tonnage, right? For the time being, I will be stopping my this lecture here only. There are two questions that has been asked in the last in the previous examination, and I hope you all write down this answer in your copy according to the format that I have told to you all. And this two question, there are 5 marks. Okay, so you should try to write answers of these two questions according to the format that I have told you, or if you have any better format, you can tell me, you can use that format also. So try to answer this. I will be I will be asking you these questions in the next class, so try to answer this. So we have the ore mineral assemblage in any 5 types of hydrothermal deposit. So I have not taught you this yet, but obviously you all have studied this, you already have some knowledge about this topic. So whatever the knowledge you have, try to write that according to the 5 marks, that is in the 1-page answer. And for the essay value and the cutoff grade and the ore grade, try to write the answer in 1 page only. Okay, and remember, in the starting you will be not be able to answer the question, you will be not be able to understand or write the definition of the things, but with practice you will be able to get that. Okay, these two questions are for tomorrow or whenever we will be having the classes, because tomorrow is holy, if you might not be able to attend that, but whenever the classes the organizer will organize, so these two questions are there. I will be asking you these two questions. Other than this, anyone having any doubt up till here, any one of you? Students, anyone having any doubt up till here about the question, about how to write it, or in the lecture that I have just taught? Just a minute. I have no doubt. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Ankit. Okay. I'm hoping everyone they understood the things. Okay. Okay, Vikas. Right. So I am stopping my class here. We will meet in the next class. Thank you so much, you all. I wish you all happy Holi. Be safe this Holi. And goodbye, students. Yeah, happy Holi, Gaurav. Everyone, happy Holi. Take care of yourself and keep studying now. Yes. Okay. Happy Holi. Okay, students. See you again.